One of the things that's not talked about that I took notice of, and no one's ever. I don't recall anybody ever making a comment when Boston went to the conference finals with those young guys.
Hmm.
Al Horford was on that roster.
Hmm.
You know, they don't have any real strong, proven veteran leadership.
Hmm.
They've got the
Hmm.
crew of young guys who've been there. They've got the guys who know the system, and you could call Marcus Smart a veteran leader. But in terms of somebody who knows what it takes to win, somebody who's been there, who's been through, it's battle tested deep into the playoffs, that can help be a stabilizing force um, to plug in. Because players will tell you, man, it gets a point in the season where you just check out. It's just hard to stay that focused and disciplined. Boston is sitting down there in the eighth spot. Like there's no reason Boston should be that low. Now, we talk there's between the fourth spot and the eighth spot, you're talking about a difference of 6 or 7 wins. So it's not that big
Right.
of a difference, but it's big enough, right? They're losing games that they should win. No one's talking about the fact that, hey, this is Danny Ainge has been touted as a great GM. Why
Hmm.
hasn't he gone out and gotten a veteran leader to be a part of that group?
That's a good point. That's a good point because I think when they were having all that success with those guys, what people fail to remember is that Al Horford was the reason. He was the leader of that team.
Mm-hmm.
He might not have been the one on the marquee. He might not
Mm-hmm.
have been the one in lights, but he was the leader of that team. It wasn't no question about it. Um, I think what's interesting about what's going on in Boston is I think a couple things will happen. I think, we all know it rolls downhill. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that I think that Stevens is on the hot seat. Um, because Danny Ainge is not going to take it's going to roll down first, but
Right.
then you have to look at because they have the talent, but something's missing in the locker room, and it's that presence. I think you hit the nail on the head. It's that veteran leadership. It's
Mm-hmm.
that calming sensation. That calming, you know, presence, and it's just that foundation. You know what I mean? When
Right.
everything
Right.
gets crazy, when you want to check out, when practices are too long, when I'm just ready to go for my enjoy my summer
Right.
vacation, you need somebody that and Al Horford was blue collar. Let's not forget
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah.
He was a worker. You know what I mean? So you need somebody that can reinvigorate those workouts and get everybody's head back in the game, refocus everybody. So I clearly they don't have that right now. So yeah, I'm
No.
with you.
I
I'm
think
with you.
it's funny when I thought about it and I recognized it. It really made me want to question Danny Ainge's moves. Like Danny Ainge, to me, he's great at stockpiling. I mean, he's a GM, he's a player, ex-player. You can't question that he's made some moves that have been winning moves. Why he has not secured veteran leadership for these young guys when the rest of us can look. Jalen uh, Brown is phenomenal. He gets the job done. Jason Tatum shows up often, but not
Yeah,
consistently.
yeah,
Marcus Smart, you're gonna get it 100% of the time. The
yeah,
same guy, grit,
yeah.
grind. But somebody to anchor that's something that you would think Danny Ainge would recognize and go get something. And there have been opportunities and he hasn't. So it makes me wonder, is there more that he's kind of laying his hat on? Is he waiting until the offseason and maybe there's a bigger move out there that he's planning to make? I don't know who's coming up in free agency that he wants to go get, but his free agency moves have not panned out. He went out and got Kyrie, did not pan out. So, you
It,
know,
yeah. In fairness to him, though, uh, I think 9.5 GMs out of 10 is going to take the Kyrie deal and take a chance with Kyrie. I'm
of
thinking if
course, at that
if you
time.
if you need if you need a point or whatever. Um, and I think when you look at veteran leadership, he does have Marcus Smart, who I would consider he's a spark plug for them, and a veteran. Kimba is a veteran at this point, so maybe he's looking at it. He does have some veteran people there, but he just doesn't. The leadership is not there. And maybe he does. Maybe he's not realizing that. Maybe because when you look at the roster, there are veterans on the team. So maybe he's like, okay, they're coming of age. We got Marcus. We got Kim. Kimba's the point. He's supposed to be the quarterback of the team anyway. You know. In fairness, I could
So,
see him feeling that way.
and listen, I
And
like
I'm not
Kimba.
trying to speak for him, but
No, I'm with you. I like Kimba, but and Kimba won in college, right? So you
right.
got to count something for a guy's ability to win at some level. And Kimba keeps coming. He's, when he's had rough stretches, he'll come out of that. He keeps coming. I love his tenacity, his persistence. But when you look at the championship teams out there, there's always a guy on the roster who's been there. There's an
Mm-hmm.
Andre Iguodala sitting at the end of your bench.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
There's a David West sitting
Mm-hmm.
somewhere on your bench that can give you 13 to 20 minutes a night, if needed.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm talking about. Somebody who's like, no, this game right here, this is how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
We need a hard foul right now, or
Mm-hmm.
we have to get this stop. I don't care how tired you are.
Mm-hmm.
We have to get this stop. We got to get a bucket right now, and knows how to go and get it. We got to make it easier on ourselves right here. Whereas I think the guys they have, short of Marcus Smart, because I do think Marcus Smart's IQ is above average, well above average. His
Mm-hmm.
basketball IQ. But the rest of those guys, I think, when in those moments, they're looking for their shot. They're looking for, how do I make the play, rather than how do we make it easy on ourselves, navigate this to get to the next level. So I'm just saying, it's something that isn't being talked about, and I think even if they get in the playoffs, I'm wondering if the absence of that shows up in some way or another at a crucial time.